Hello everybody and welcome to Toyah and Robert's Objects of Desire.
But before you go further, little lovey, I would like to congratulate you on your nomination for your, quote, revelation of a performance, unquote, in the Richard Harris Film Festival in Ireland for your performance in Get Them Wings.
Best Actress.
Best Actress.
Isn't that amazing? Fantastic. I haven't won it yet. I've got a nomination. And this 4-star review says the film is fantastic. And this is just what we need because the distribution deal contract is signed. We now need all of these nominations, all of these reviews to drive the streaming companies to take an interest and to sign it. Well, you know that one, don't you?
Yes.
We're all in the middle of that one at the moment.
But congratulations, lovey. And moving on to your first object of desire.
Well, this is a double act. Now, as you know, I am absolutely passionate about the artist Frankie Sunderson, surrealist artist from Seattle, Washington, USA, married to Bill Rieflin. They've both passed from the world now. In 2007, July the 22nd, this area suffered a historic flood. And basically the flood happened because the ditches around the fields and all the farmland had not been dug for decades. And when the rains came, and this was July, our hottest months, the rains stayed on the surface of the land and this whole area flooded. 6 miles away, we have a town called Tewkesbury, which just became an island. That you just had Tewkesbury Abbey seen from the air, surrounded by miles and miles of water. Now here, where we live in the oldest situated house in the town, which means we're at the highest point. So when the waters came up, I was playing Alnwick Castle 4.5 hours away when my neighbour phoned me and said, get home now and put sandbags around your house. The waters are coming up to the back door. And I said to him, I ain't going to be back until 7 in the morning. The floods came. Luckily, we survived this particular flood, but I sent pictures to Frankie Sunderson to commission her to paint her impression of our garden underwater. So this is as the flood was starting to subside. So the waters went about another 2 foot higher than this, and our garden is about 300 foot, 400 foot long, Robert?
I would say probably yards, lovey.
Yards.
400 yards.
Down to the River Avon. So when the waters came up at their highest, we have iron railings along the river that are taller than me. They're about 5 foot high, and canoeists could canoe over those railings into our garden and have a look round at what was left. And one night we were in bed and a helicopter descended with a light coming through the bedroom window, and we were looking at the pilots in the helicopter who were looking for missing persons. And ironically, I mean, thank God that there was no one to be found. They were just doing their jobs very, very efficiently. So this is Frankie's impression of our garden underwater. And then about 2 weeks later, as the waters subsided, Frankie decided to do another impression of the garden revealing itself. And what's so beautiful about this is the full moon. And it was full moon during the floods. So she totally got it. Her instincts were incredibly right. Now, these were cherry trees. When we moved here, they were already 30 years old, and we've been here for 22 years. So honey rot got the roots. That is now an open space. But as the waters subsided, we had fish swimming in the garden. It was extraordinary. We had swans in the garden. And thank you, Frankie, for this gorgeous pair of paintings.
All right, well, I will follow on from that. My wife doesn't know my precious things for this week, so I will begin also with a Francesca Sunston pencil drawing.
Okay.
Of Bill Rieflin.
Oh.
And the story behind this is, we were having a guitar circle course, I believe it was in Mexico, and we have an at-a-distance participation of various people who aren't on the course physically. If we're in Mexico, they might be in Seattle, for example. So what they do is they acknowledge that they will be contributing to the course at a distance, maybe doing our morning sitting with us, sending good wishes, and perhaps a person will send their photograph to put on the notice board so people attending the course that don't know the actual person can hold them in their mind's eye. And instead of sending a photo, Bill didn't apparently have a photo of himself, Frankie Sunston drew a picture of him with pencil and sent that. And this is it.
I bought him that scarf because when his sister, she had to clear their house, it took her months. She said, why has he got so many scarves? I think I bought him over 10 years, 36 scarves, and they were all in one cupboard. So there's Bill in one of his 36 odd scarves.
All right, well, this is a segue into my precious thing.
I love that.
It's wonderful. And here is my precious thing. A Les Paul custom guitar. The serial number is different to read, but it seems to be 553650. So there we are. Now, the story of this Les Paul is as such. Bill Rieflin owned this as a young man.
Is that one?
Yes. Bill owned this as a young man, and as all musicians, and probably just about everyone know, the time comes when you have a bill to pay, and the only way to pay it is to sell something. And this was Bill's such a favouriteist guitar, he sold it.
Was he 19 when he sold it?
I believe he was.
Yeah, he was just starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, years later, about 2 or 3 years before Bill died in 2020, Bill was contacted by a music store. Now, apparently this guitar ended up with Peter Buck of REM, who Bill did a lot of work with, including 7 years with REM.
It was November 2019.
There you are. And it was surplus to Peter's requirements, so it went back to the store. The store was in touch with Bill, and Bill was then able to negotiate a deal so that Bill's own precious thing from some 38 or 9 years before returned to him. And when we were visiting Bill in Seattle,
November 2019.
Bill said to me, would you like this guitar when I have no more use for it?
Very generous. Now, did it get bashed about a bit before Bill got it back?
Yes, it did, which I think rather made Bill a little cross.
Yeah. Well, it was, people should love their guitars. It's an extension of your physical soul, as it were.
Well, yes, and on the other hand, a lot of rock guitarists wear belts and look very groovy, and the buckles on the belt scratch the back. But no criticism there. And the completing part of the story is that when Bill flew away and his sister went in to clear up the effects, all of Bill's studio's items went on to the King Crimson store in Seattle, which was cleaned out, and all of my and Bill's effects were shipped on a slow boat back to Dundee or Aberdeen? Aberdeen, and from then by truck they were driven down here to Breedenborough about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now this is in the cellar of our home. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Frankie, because I'm about to inherit a very large doll Frankie made. It's got to be brought back on a plane seat, and I'm just wildly excited. I mean, they are all around us. They live with us every day. I never feel apart from them, and because the memories are so happy, the memories are vibrant. That's why I just think they're here still.
Yeah, I don't feel very far from Bill.
That's good. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe. We have a pretty serious Sunday lunch for you tomorrow, but it's from our heart and it's something that we genuinely believe, and we know you will believe it and support it too. Lots of love from Toyah.
And from Robert.